Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a good morning to our lecturer Madam Salwani and to my fellow friends. We are from Group 3 and we would like to present about revocation of will. Me as a first presenter, Nurul Nadia binti Zahari. The second presenter is Siti Umirah binti Adam. The third presenter is Nur Syahira Wahida binti Wahab. The fourth presenter is Yolanda Balkis binti Al-Mashri Effendi. And the last presenter of our group member is Jahira binti Abdullah. Today, I would like to talk about introduction revocation of will. Revocation is the act of calling back a will with intention of annulling or rescinding it. The fundamental feature of a will is that a will is revocable either wholly or partly at any time before the date of the testator. A will can be revoked by the following acts. Firstly, marriage. Secondly, destruction. Thirdly, a little will. And the last, conversion to Islam.
Continue with a will can be revoked by the following acts. The first is marriage. When you marry, any existing will is automatically revoked and becomes no longer valid. If you do not make a new one, then when you die, the law of intestacy decide how your assets are divided. Usually, your entire estate would go to your wife, husband or civil partner. So we suggest that you either make a will as soon as you marry, if it is quite clear that you intend your new will to take effect after you have married. If your marriage is ended by a court order, like divorce or annulment, your will is not void or invalid. What happens is that any gift to your former spouse take effect as if he or she had died on the date your decree become absolute. That usually means the gift falls back into residue for the benefit of the residuary beneficiaries.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syahira Wahida binti Wahab. So I would like to present about destruction of will. Turns to section 20 of the Will Act 1867, which state that a will may be revoked by an act of burning, tearing, otherwise destroying, the same by the testator or by some person in his or her presence. The physical destruction of a will without the intention to revoke the will is not sufficient to revoke it. But if the will is destroyed accidentally without the intention to revoke it, a copy of that will or reconstruction will can be submitted to probate, and that will successfully can be seen as a valid. In addition, the physical destruction of the will must be more than simply. It is simply closing out of words of paragraph within a will is not sufficient to validly revoke a will. Last but not least, partial destruction will not revoke the entire of the will unless those parts of the will left intact and cannot stand on their own. Thank you. That's all from me about destruction of will. So I would like to invite the next presenter.
Next, a will that can revoke by a letter will that is duly executed. This is the most common method of revocation. The revocation occurs when letter will is validly executed. A subsequent will written after the previous will that whether or not the revocation clause is included in the letter will. The testator can also make a written statement in the presence of two witnesses to revoke it without writing a new will. It means that a testator can revoke a will by making changes to part of an existing will. The newly amended will, called a codicil, has the effect of creating new will because it can change key aspects of an existing will, including beneficiaries and property designation. Codicil is a formally executed document made after a will that adds to, subtract from, or changes the will. See also republish. The witnesses and testator must sign on the will at the same time. It is because it is one of the main functions of witnesses to ensure that the testator is of sound mind at the time the will is made. Hence, in Malaysia, The two witnesses and testator must all sign on the will in the same session.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Jaira binti Abdullah. So I will continue with the conversion to Islam. Firstly, a will is revoked when a non-Muslim person converts to Islam because the distribution of his or her estate will automatically follow the faraid distribution. Wills should be kept in a safe place to protect the document from events such as fire, flood, burglary, or even unauthorized amendments. The testator should inform the location where the will is kept to immediate family members and the appointed executor. This is important to ensure that the lawful heirs or rightful beneficiaries would be aware of existence of the will and would be able to retrieve the same upon the demise of the testator. This would avoid the estate of the testator being administered as an intestate estate.